The Tekken series has been going on for a long time, changing and iterating for over 30 years. Naturally, with any game series like that, there's going to be a huge array of different types of fans.
This is part of what makes our community so diverse.
You could ask 5 people how they got into Tekken, and all 5 of those people could say they got into the series through different games. And with a game that has such a rich history and legacy, you'd think the developers, Bandai Namco, would be more interested in giving the community ways to play those iconic games that people are nowadays so nostalgic for. If you go to the Steam store and search up Tekken in the search bar, this is what you get. Tekken 8, Tekken 7, and a whole bunch of DLC. Not one legacy game, no re-released special HD rollback collection, not even a port of any older game. Just Tekken 7 and Tekken 8, the modern Tekken games. Let's contrast this and search up Street Fighter on the Steam library. You have Street Fighter 6, Street Fighter 5, Ultra Street Fighter 4, regular Street Fighter 4, the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection, which contains the original Street Fighter, multiple versions of Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter Alpha, and plenty of versions of Street Fighter 3, including Third Strike. In some way or another, pretty much all of the important Street Fighter games are available to purchase and play whenever you want. Not to mention, the Street Fighter Anniversary Collection has online play for these games. So what happens if you're feeling nostalgic and want to play Tekken 5? You want to go back to Tekken 3, one of the most revolutionary games at the time. How do you do it?
Well, as of right now, unless you already own these games and their dedicated hardware, it's pretty much impossible.
The only other Tekken games made available are Tekken 6 and Tekken 2 through the PlayStation Plus Premium Collection, which not only cost an arm and a leg, but is also a monthly subscription model, meaning you don't own these games, and these games could be removed at any point. So what happens if you want to play these games, an almost 20-year-old and 30-year-old game respectively, but don't have a PlayStation, or just don't want to pay a monthly fee? And what happens if you want to play all the other, arguably more important Tekken games? To play these games, you'll have to either go through the secondhand market, which can be incredibly frustrating to deal with, or go through the dreaded piracy method. Notice how neither of these options serve to give Bandai Namco a profit, which you know is the whole point of businesses. By Namco not making these games available, they are throwing money away. The demand for these classic games has literally never been higher. After the Tekken 8 Season 2 fiasco, we saw more people than ever revisiting old Tekken games. Fans set up a working online mode for Tekken Tag 2. People were going back to Tekken 5. If I'm being honest, that week or two where almost everyone was revisiting the old Tekken games, streamers were having fun playing it, people were matching into each other in Discord servers, was pretty much the only positive week of Tekken we've had since Season 2 began. These games are so incredibly important to so many people. For many people, Tekken 5 is their childhood. For some people, Tekken 3 is their childhood. These games have had a tremendous cultural impact, and they are very important for the history of the series. Unfortunately, it seems like Namco still has no interest in preserving the classics. As I'm sure we're all too familiar with these days, the modern fighting game exists purely based on one model: the microtransactions. Before, the developers would release a game, consumers would buy the product if they thought it was a good product, and that would be it. You make a product, people buy it, and then you start working on the next product. But now, you can create a game, get people to buy it so your company makes its initial profit, and rather than putting effort into making new games or making more things available, you can keep releasing zero-effort skins, battle passes, create DLC characters and sell them for ridiculous prices. Did you guys know that the Tekken 8 DLC characters cost $11 Canadian? $11 for one character. What happened to spending $3 or $4 for a new character? Somehow no one talks about how ridiculously expensive these DLC have become. A stage is $7, and people are gonna keep buying it. So my presumption is that Namco is just happy raking in all the money from Tekken 8. Why go through the effort of re-releasing these old games? It'd probably be a lot more effort than adding in reused customizations from Tekken 7 that used to be free and charging for them, right? Well, no. I think Namco is actually shooting themselves in the foot when it comes to this.
Hey, if you guys are enjoying this video and want to see more, please consider subscribing to the channel. Only about 10% of the people who watch my videos are subscribed, so it's a really big help. Thank you so much.
Us Tekken fans are so incredibly starved of content that Namco could port Tekken Tag 2, a pretty modern game considering it was running on PS3s, to Steam with almost no effort, and we would eat it up.
And I'm not talking about an advanced port with tons of new features, maybe better graphics, maybe new additions. No. They could simply pop that bad boy on the Steam store, put it on the PlayStation store, and that's really it.
And all the other games too. Put a copy of Tekken 5 on the Steam store. Put a copy of Tekken 5 DR, Tekken 6. There's no reason for games to not be available. There is clearly a demand for these games. People are willing to pay, and if people are willing to pay for something as a business, it is a good business move to re-release it. Porting their older games to modern platforms is honestly the bare minimum, but we're so deprived that even that would be amazing to us. Now, what would other companies do who seem to actually care about their legacy fans? They would go above and beyond. They would release collections like the previously mentioned Street Fighter Anniversary Collection, containing tons of games and tons of bonus content for the ultimate Street Fighter fan. If Tekken released a Tekken Anniversary Collection with Tekken 1, 2, and 3, only 3 games, that would be awesome. And then they could release another one with 4, 5, and 6. Ideally, this would all be in one collection, but let's be honest, we know Namco will never do that. Some kind of collection here where we can get multiple games and other bonus content that all these other games keep getting, like early concept art, soundtracks, stuff like that. Everyone seems to agree these days that fighting games are more focused on their casual audience because that's where they rake in the most money. Then why not do this? It's gonna be mostly casuals who are interested in this stuff, right?
So why not litter it with tons of casual content? An ability to flip through the classic concept art, interviews with developers when they were making the original games, maybe very early Tekken developer articles you can read, never seen before early footage of these games in development. Casuals would eat that stuff up. Tekken desperately needs some kind of legacy collection just to keep these games alive. And they're losing out on millions of dollars by not releasing this content for us. I don't know what the development cost would be for this, but it would definitely be worth it. But okay, let's say they don't want to do the direct no-effort ports for some reason. They don't want to make a collection where they put a ton of effort into it. What's the third option? Well, they could pick an individual game and give it an enhanced version with modern fighting game features, like the King of Fighters 13 Rollback Edition.
Release older games, give them a touch-up, add rollback or at least better Wi-Fi, and give us online matchmaking.
This way is easily the most stingy. You know if Namco does this, they're going to be selling each game individually, probably for $40 to $60. And they could milk it for a while, doing a new release every year. Tekken 5 HD Rollback Edition, Tekken 6, Tekken Tag 2, etc. It would give the Tekken series a pretty consistent stream of game releases, which the series has never had before. Very smart business-wise. And to be honest, if these games were done well, I wouldn't really mind.
If we were able to play Tekken 5 online with a modern-style ranked mode, I think the community would collectively lose their minds. Same with Tekken Tag 2, same with any of these games. Give us modern ways to play them, ideally give us modern online play so we can foster communities, and everyone wins. The people who aren't happy with Tekken 8 and who want another game, get a new game to play. Namco gets more money off people who otherwise wouldn't be spending any money on the Tekken 8 microtransactions, and we would all be happy. I didn't mention it earlier, but another reason why I think re-releasing these old games is so important right now is just because of the nature of Tekken 8. Even before all of the Season 2 stuff, if we're being real, Tekken 8 has changed the Tekken formula by a lot. It's the biggest changes we've gotten in, 20 years of the Tekken series? And while it's gonna draw in a new audience, which it definitely did, it's also gonna alienate some of the players. I'm sure you guys who are active in the community can think of multiple pro players who, as soon as Tekken 8 started, they disapproved, and they still don't like the game today. There's a lot of people like that. And while there's a lot of people on the other side who do like the game, what's the problem in giving them options? I'm sure Namco is very worried about cannibalizing their player base. They don't want half the community to be playing the new Tekken 8, where they add DLC characters and make active money, where the other half just buys a one-time game and doesn't give them any extra money. But guess what? This is already happening. Season 2 is so bad, we've seen the Tekken 7 player base rise significantly, and even more people than that are just not playing Tekken. Guess what they're doing instead? They're pirating your games. Your games that you could be selling for money are being pirated. Wouldn't you rather make money from the players who are very interested in your legacy titles, compared to making literally no money but still losing tons of players for Tekken 8? It's a complete no-brainer. It also even helps with new players. As a creator who got his prominence in Tekken 8, a lot of my viewership actually started with this game, and I hear of so many people on my streams, in my comments, who are very interested in the legacy of this series, but don't want to have to go on eBay and buy PS2s and buy the old copy of the games and buy all the wires. It's a real hassle. If the option was available to pay for some of these old games, these people would do it, but they simply don't have the option. I think in the long run, re-releasing their old games would strengthen the Tekken IP and strengthen the community. And it would give Namco some leeway during times like this, where they mess up the modern game heavily, but people still have older games to go buy and play while we wait for them to fix the issues of Tekken 8. These games need to be available, and it needs to happen soon. Now, there is a light at the end of the tunnel here. Recently, in an interview at Comic-Con, Hirata stated that he's not against re-releasing Tekken Tag 1 and Tekken Tag 2, and has brought it up with the higher-ups at Namco. That's a great start, but unfortunately, Hirata saying things in interviews don't exactly give me confidence anymore.
Heihachi Mishima is completely dead.
And why did they only mention Tag 1 and Tag 2? The game has a lot more of a rich history than those two games.
No matter what happens, Namco desperately needs to start releasing these games. Whatever their problems with doing it is, these can be addressed. And you know what? If the only way we can get these legacy games is if they re-release them with the signature Tekken 8 microtransactions, then honestly at this point, as shitty as that would be, if Namco wants to re-release Tekken 5 and give it a new coat of paint and give it a rollback online mode, I wouldn't even care if they want to add microtransactions to that game. As much as I hate battle passes, if we got a new version of Tekken 5 or Tag 2, I would take a battle pass as collateral damage. If that's what they need to do to make it happen, I don't mind. Just make it happen so we can play these games. Please, Namco, you are shooting yourself in the foot and you are losing millions and millions of dollars to piracy because you can't be bothered to make these games accessible to the people who actually want to play them. But yeah, that's about all I've got for today's video. If you guys enjoyed it and want to see more videos like this, please consider subscribing, as only 10% of my viewers are actually subscribed to the channel. It really goes a long way. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys in the next one.